In this video, we're going to talk about creating post content forms with Gravity Forms. So what we would use this for is if we wanted our users to be able to submit content to our site with the understanding that it could be published on the front end of your website if it's approved. So you would have your users submitting content, which would be creating drafts in our system of blog posts, and then you could choose whether or not it should be published and be on the live site. Now, these forms can be used for custom post types. So remember, we've touched a little bit on what custom post types are. So something like classified ads or a job board or something like that. You could technically use Gravity Forms to do the content submission for custom post types. But if we're doing that, we actually recommend using a different set of plugins, which is the Types Toolkit. So in your functionality list, there's a section for custom post types. And if what you're looking for is to have custom content on your site and have users have the ability to submit content, we do recommend going that route because there's a lot of other tools and stuff like that that work with that make it a better system. However, if we're just looking to have our users be able to submit blog content or post content and we want to review it and then publish it, then Gravity Forms and these forms would be a perfectly good solution. So let's talk about how we're going to do that. First, we're going to click on Add New to create a new form. And we're going to name that form something like Post Submission or whatever you'd like. And click on Create Form. And then we're going to use these post fields on the right-hand side to create the form on how to create draft content on our site. So the first thing we need to do is add a title field, and this is going to be the post title. And under here, under post status, we can determine whether or not when it's submitted, if that should be a draft or a pending review, so we can moderate that content, or we can make it straight to go publish, but if this is an open or public form, we want to avoid that. So your best bet is to have either a draft or pending review. That way an editor or an administrator or somebody in charge of your content can review it before it is published to the front end. And then what we need to do is we need to select who's going to be designated as that post author. And this will determine whether, or this will be decided by, if you're requiring users to log in to access this form. So if we have some kind of membership or access control going on, if the user's logged in, should it be them set as the author? Or do we want to select one of our editor accounts so it's always published under our brand or our name? So whether or not you want to differentiate between authors or have it all published by the site, that's what we're going to use this default post author for. And then we could choose the post format, which we've discussed we're not really going to be using, and we can also choose the default category, or we can use the category field to let them select it. So if we're going to keep this fairly simple as far as, we're not going to go into content templates and stuff like that, because if we're going that far, we should really be using the Types Toolkit. So in our case, this is just to post really articles or blog entries to our blog. So we're going to have our post title field, and we're going to make that required, and we're going to have it pending review when users submit content. And then we're going to add in a body field, and this is where they're going to put the post content. And you can see this it has the same kind of information, so we want all of this to match up, and we'll make that required as well. And then let's say we wanted them to be able to choose the category, and we wanted them to be able to insert tags if they'd like. And for the category, you can do drop down, or if you want them to be able to select multiple categories, you can do either checkboxes or multi-select. But let's do drop down. And then we can make that required as well. And then for post tags, we can let's do a single line text so they can enter in whatever tags that they would like into a single line text. And we'll make that, we won't make that required, we'll make tags optional. And then we can do post image, and that is for our featured image. And we can also allow them to put in a title, a caption, and a description. And we can check this box to do set as featured image. If we uncheck this box, it'll just be an image field, and we'll have to figure out where that's going to go. So because we're using page builders and we're not using content templates, really we want to use this only if we're going to add it as the featured image. And let's say that's required as well. And then this custom field, that's more for custom post types. You can add in custom fields. So if you were doing something like a job board, you'd be able to add in those custom fields. But again, we'd want to use the Types Toolkit for that. So this is the basic fields that we need in order to create post content. And so we'll just update this. And then let's insert it into a page. So we'll do add new page. and we'll say submit your content. And let's insert our form and publish. And now on the front end, I will take a look at this and we should have a form to create content. So let's just go ahead and create sample blog post. And we'll do, this is some blog information, our blog content. We'll select our category, web design. We'll put in a post tag, sample. We can choose a post image here. So I'll just grab an image quickly. And we'll do picture title, picture caption, and picture description. And then we'll submit it. And what that should do is it should create a draft blog post under our posts. So if we go to posts, you can see now we have a sample blog post, it's pending, and we can open this up in the editor and we can decide, we can see we have my featured image here, we have the blog content, we have a blog title, and then we would be able to publish that at our leisure after we reviewed them. So that's just a very quick overview of creating post content and allowing users on our front end to submit content. Now there's a lot more that goes along with that as far as permissions and other stuff, but if we're going to be doing it, again, we would use the types toolkit. This is just for a simple, blog post submission, and we can either put it behind access control. So we would want to select memberships under our functionality list to add membership and access control to our site. And if we want to do custom post types, we would add custom post types in our functionality list. But if we just want a simple form for our users to fill out and submit content, then we could set this up through Gravity Forms and place that anywhere on our site, and then we can review content as it comes in and choose whether or not we want to publish it.